Welcome back to another podcast of Heal Without Harm. My name is Dr. Clayton Durr, physical therapist, also known as the Doc Durr. If you've ever started a new workout program or signed up for a race, maybe even got back into a sport you love, only to end up hurt, I want to let you know you're not alone. Today's podcast is going to talk a little bit about why injuries occur and the patterns they usually see and how to avoid it, or at least how to get quickly back on track. Most injuries don't happen because your body's weak or broken. They simply happen because of one simple pattern. You may have heard this before. You're doing too much, too fast, after doing too little for too long. In today's episode, I'm going to explain why this happens, how to recognize the warning signs, and what you can do to stay active without constantly hitting roadblocks, or even getting spun into a cycle of, I hurt, I do less, I hurt. Whether you're just starting back into fitness or trying to avoid another injury cycle, this one's for you. Here's the problem. Most people ramp up activity way too quickly. I'm sure you've seen this before, heard about this before, or done it yourself. You go from sitting at a desk for 40 hours a week to playing a full tennis match or lifting heavy without any sort of ramp up, warm up, or slow progression over time. It's not that you're fragile, it's just that your tissues were not ready for that load. By the way, load, as I use this in today's podcast, is essentially what you're asking your body to do. It's the amount of reps that you're asking it to do, the amount of weight, how far it's trying to run, how fast it's trying to run. Whatever you're trying to get your body to do, that is going to be the load. This is going to apply to weekend warriors, people getting back into running, sports, CrossFit, postpartum moms, or even new retirees. The one I've seen most common, at least right now in my stage of life, is the people who are parents and they're finally getting time to work out themselves again when they used to, and it's been longer than they think. And they get back into it at the speed they used to, and then they wonder why their body's not working like it used to. It's not because we're getting old, although that could be a small part of it. It's usually because you haven't done it in a while. Your brain still says you're young. Your body says it's been 5 to 10 years since we've done that. And so it's less about age, and it's more about how long has it been since we've done it last. A better way to think about injury is ultimately just load versus capacity. The load, like I said, is what you're asking your body to do. The capacity is what your body is actually capable of at the time of attempting it to do it. Injuries pretty much always occur when the load is greater than the capacity. The thing is as we get older, once we're over 30, 40, and then each decade this starts to speed up, is that our capacity is constantly going down, whether or not we know it. And the thing is you can slow that down, sometimes even reverse it. But if you're doing nothing about it, your capacity, aka what your body is able to do or what you're capable of, that capacity is going to keep going down. And this is why as we get into our 30s, 40s, and above, we need to make sure we're doing daily or at least weekly activities to keep our capacity high. You need to keep your body capable so that when asked to do something or when there's a load placed upon us, we can actually handle that. Your job is to build capacity gradually, not all at once, not too fast, but to do it gradually. Your PT's job, or me, is to help guide you and restore that capacity. Now, what's nice is nowadays we have podcasts like this. We have plenty of YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram Reels, and Facebook pages to follow that are giving us general guidelines. A lot of the time, though, we need a little bit more specificity and a little bit more one-on-one guidance. You can handle most of these things on your own. Please do. Go for it. Use all the free resources that you have. However, if you've tried many, many things and it's not working, it's been a matter of weeks, months, or even years without success, that's when you want to go ahead and consult a professional like myself or a really good chiropractor that you trust, or even friends and family you can ask about and see who they've used to help them with that. But ultimately, my job is to listen to your concerns. My job as the PT is to listen to your concerns, think about what you've tried, think about what you haven't tried and the results that you've gotten, and then help find where you are on this imaginary ladder of, let's say, 10 rungs, try to figure out what rung you're on, what step you're on, and help you slowly guide moving up. Here's some practical examples. Ones that I've actually heard is someone who just suddenly started running 3 miles a day after years of not running. Suddenly they have shin pain. Maybe they even have calf pain. It's painful though. Person B, they got a new Peloton program. They're starting to cycle 5 times a week. Guess what they got? Hip bursitis. Person C started yard work after a long winter. Maybe it was during winter. They were shoveling snow. Now they have a back strain. The thing is the issue isn't the activity, it's the ramp up, or the lack thereof. Now, don't get me wrong. I am someone who works out often, 4 or 5 times a week, and I train pretty generically. I lift weights, I do CrossFit, I run, I do a lot of things. However, this is the one part that I want to let you know, is it's normal to be sore after doing something you haven't done for a long period of time. Going back to the example of working in the wintertime. If you're someone that goes out and shovels snow for 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, plan to be sore. I don't care how fit and active you are, you're going to be sore. However, if we consider the snow shoveling for 2 hours, that's a pretty large load or a pretty large volume of work. And if you're not if you're not generally prepared for that, your soreness will be pain. Your soreness will be injury. But for someone like myself who works out regularly, that person is going to have more just soreness and not pain. And that's the difference. The best part is that you can prepare yourself. You can go through a workout program or just staying fit and active and ultimately keep your capacity high so that when a load is placed upon you, 2 hours of snow shoveling, a new Peloton program 4 or 5 times a week, or going on a run with a buddy at 2, 3, 5 miles long, it doesn't wreck your shins, your hips, your back. Speaking of running, if you haven't yet and you're in the Wichita area, you should definitely check out Run 316. This is not an ad. This is just me wanting to let you know there's a really dope run club that starts every Saturday, 8 a.m., and every Monday at 6:30 p.m., I believe. So if you haven't tried them out yet, Run 316 is an amazing running club that you need to go check out. Let's get back. So here's how you do it instead. Here's what you do. So you're going to ramp up slowly. You're going to increase the load each week by 10 to 15%. That is not always a clean number, I know. If you're running, let's say you're running twice a week, 2 miles each. So that's 4 miles total. You're going to increase by 0.4 miles that week, maybe half a mile. So you're going to add a quarter mile to either one of them, or you're going to add a half mile total to one run. But again, 10 to 15% increases, your body will adapt. It's called progressive overload. Another thing that you should be doing is cross training and strength training. The thing is if you want to get better at running, of course, you need to run. But if you want to get more efficient at running, you need to be stronger. So you need to strength train and you need to run. A good split, if you can handle 5 times a week, is strength training 2 to 3 times a week and running 2 to 3 times a week. For example, I strength train 3 times a week and I run twice a week. That is 5 times, and I can build my cardiovascular endurance and I can build my strength. That is just one option. Another option, one that if you're listening to this, you should probably consider if you haven't done it already, is seeing a good quality physical therapist or chiropractor early on to identify your movement limitations and your strength imbalances. At our clinic, which if you listen to the last episode about what to expect in your evaluation, you'll have heard this, but at our clinic, we ultimately go through a 3-step process. Reset your pain cycle, restore full strength and range of motion, and reload your tissues. If you have some sort of pain, then we need to solve the pain problem. However, when we move into stage 2, restore full strength and range of motion, that is where we go fix all the problems that led to the pain in the first place. If you've got really tight hamstrings, we can help elongate those or make them more flexible, make them stronger over a longer range of motion. If you've got really tight calves, we can give you exercises and stretches on that to make it not only more mobile and more flexible, but able to handle load better, aka improve your capacity. This is where a PT can be extremely, extremely helpful. I want to let you know that you don't need to stop moving. You just need to load smarter. Sometimes that includes a short period of rest, not weeks and months of rest, but a short period and then gradual reintroducing you to load. You just need to be smarter about it. Not calling you dumb, but we just need to make a better game plan instead of just, you know what, I'm going to go for a run and then knocking out 5 miles. Like, talk about a fast track to injury. That's how you get injured. Here's the bottom line. Your body's not broken. I want to make sure I really hammer that home, and you're not fragile. Most injuries are simply because your body is saying, hey, I wasn't ready for that yet, and so it gave you some pain. It essentially popped, got irritated, it got strained. The good news, though, is you can train smarter, not just harder. Actually, I would probably pull it away from smarter. I would say you can train more efficiently. Smarter can be insulting at times. You can train more efficient, not just harder. With the right plan, the right progressions, and sometimes even the right help, you can do the things you love without fear of breaking down. That is the main motto of today. If you've got caught in the injury recovery cycle, I would love to help. Reach out, send a message, or schedule a visit. And let's build a body that's ready for anything. I appreciate you listening. Hopefully today helped you learn a little bit more how to heal without harm. I'll catch you next time, and hopefully you can send this on to a friend and let them know, here's why you keep getting hurt. Maybe you should ask for help. We'll see you guys.